Hi, it's Michael, clinical psychologist at Grove Psychology. I'm going to talk today about building resilience in our children, how we can help our children to develop resilience to stress and setbacks and be able to persevere even when things are difficult. And what I really want to get through, this is obviously a follow-up to a blog that I wrote, which you can find on our website, but I really want to get this concept of that this is a long-term strategy, something that we're doing within our family structure all the time, right? Which it can be really challenging because we've got to sort of work on the different ways of talking with our children than perhaps we might not be doing. And it's not in response to something went bad, so therefore I'm going to do this particular strategy. This is something that we're going to be doing all the time to help our kids cope with setbacks, to deal with the big difficult emotions that you get when something doesn't go your way, or you've tried really hard and you didn't get selected in the team, or you didn't win the award that you really wanted to win, or whatever it might be. And it's not about making our kids feel good, right? Okay, well, you didn't win, I'm going to get you this, or or don't worry about it, we're not keeping score or anything like that. Kids have got to learn how to cope with not winning or failing, but in a way that is supportive. So we don't just sort of let them fail and then that's it. We've got to help them through those sort of things. So the big thing that I really want to convey today, and if we think about the model that we wrote about in the blog, this PERMA model, the first one, P, which stands for positive emotions. It's not just about telling our kids, I think you're great, I think you're wonderful, you're such a good person, you're so kind, that sort of stuff. We really want to focus on what is it that our child is doing that we're happy with or that we like to see more of. And what I would like us to work on is how do our kids deal with things that are challenging. So a really good example, one that you can probably implement very easily at home, is instead of the cliche, how was school today, what did you do? Which you're probably going to get, right, a grunt, okay? Oh, it was fine, I don't remember, which is really frustrating when you're a parent. You think, well, I'm trying to ask you about something. Let's focus on something different. What was challenging today for you that you managed to get through? What did you find that was difficult that you persevered with? What was something that made you smile today? What did you do that was kind to your friends today? And I'd be really interested to see what the answers that you get from your child, which I would hope is more than, I don't know, right? Because you're asking something a little bit different. You're asking something a bit more specific. You're asking about how they feel about things. We're also looking at how they manage with stress, right? How they cope with things. And then following on from that, when we see our kids doing something that we like, or we want to try and reinforce a behavior, we really want to describe what it is that we like. So let's say it's a maths test. Now, rather than, congratulations, you got 9 out of 10, I'm really, really happy with that, we might instead say, I noticed that you've been working really hard on your maths homework. You've been following through every night and working diligently, and I'm really, really happy with that effort. Or, I noticed that at training tonight, you were really listening carefully to your coach, and I'm really impressed with you for doing that. Or, I could see that you ran all the way to the end of the race, in your 100-meter running. You didn't stop running. Now, these are very factual, so your child can't argue back. If you just say, oh, you're doing so great at maths. No, I'm not. I'm terrible. This is the worst. Blah, 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 blah. But if you say, I noticed that you're putting in a lot of effort with your homework, that's a little bit harder to debate. Right? I noticed that you ran all the way to the end of your race, and I'm really impressed that you kept going. You can't debate that. That's factual. So the child knows really carefully what it is that you're impressed with. We're also learning to validate and experience and deal with the difficult emotions. So if your child's upset, it is upsetting that you didn't win. Okay, you were trying really hard, but we can still focus on these other things. But it's an everyday approach. It's not just a one day. If you do it once, it won't work. This is an everyday thing that you've got to keep going, because we are not naturally optimistic humans. We tend to look for the negative side of things. That's part of our DNA. It's how we survive. So we're really trying to work on how do we notice those things that are more positive. And that takes a lot of effort and something that you've got to build in as part of your family. So I hope that can be helpful for you. You can read more information on my blog, but I will go through this a little bit more in some of the future videos. Okay, thanks for that. Bye.